I was a Bachelor of Computer Science student at the university, studying in my sixth semester and deeply involved in activism, working alongside dedicated activists and artists across Afghanistan. I used to take my little son with me to the university's kindergarten and head to my classes. I had a bunch of friends and joyful student life, filled with laughter, learning, and purpose. In Afghanistan, I was also volunteering at the Afghan Women's Voice Foundation in the educational department. We used to organize educational workshops to raise awareness about their legal and human rights. I also helped research and write articles for the foundation's website on various social topics. It was meaningful work that connected me more deeply to the struggle and hopes of Afghan women. Needless to say, art has always been my way of expressing emotions, sharing stories, and connecting with others. Over time, I combined this passion with my activism. I combined this passion with my activism. I used my art not only to reflect my own journey, but also to advocate for the rights of Afghan women and girls, especially their rights to education. After the Taliban took over Kabul, everything changed. I remember the day so clearly. I was at the home chatting with my friends, and that they just messaged and told me that the Taliban has took over the city. And I laughed and I said, that's impossible. Then my mother called me and said gently, "Dear, don't panic and don't cry, but the Taliban have taken over." I suddenly burst into tears. I called my husband asking where he was. He said, "Don't worry, I'm on my way, don't look outside." That was the moment my life collapsed. My 4-year-old son looked outside at the cause and asked, "Why are people running, Mom?" I told him they were playing. That night I held him close and prayed. 2 days later, we heard gunshots in the sky, sounds of victory and celebration. My son asked again, scared, "What is that? What is that sound?" I told him it was a wedding and it was fireworks. Due to my activism, I was accused by the Taliban of misleading Afghan women and westernizing our community and society, the very false accusation, which led to warning and death threats from Taliban. In October 21, while still in hiding, I founded the Voice to Survive movement, an online protest. Even though I was forced to hide my face during these protests for safety, I couldn't stay silent. We launched 3 viral hashtags that drew attention to the struggles of Afghan women. This led to renewed threats against me and my family, and even an arrest warrant was issued by the Taliban. But by then, I was already left Afghanistan. I was lucky. Due to the risk, my family and I were taken to a safe house by an international organization based in US, where we lived in hiding for 7 months. It was the hardest period of my life. We were moved to a province I had never been before, placed in an apartment with strangers and not allowed to go outside. Food was brought to us. It was often barely edible. There was no TV, no toys for my son. He became restless and angry. I slept to depression. After 3 months, we were moved back to Kabul because the previous location was no longer safe. This time we were in a different safe house. I was on the 5th floor with my son and other women. My husband was on the 2nd floor. The room was tiny, meant for one person, but there were 7 of us cramped inside. We slept on a cold, hard floor without proper heating or clothing. My son was bullied by other children. I barely saw my husband once a day, and even then, only for a few minutes we endured. We endured this for 4 months more. Then one day they told us we had to leave. The Taliban had found out about our location. We have been told that they could evacuate only 2 of the 3 family members to Pakistan. My husband told me that you must leave the country with our son. Don't wait for me. I cried endlessly. I had never left him, not even for a week. But he made me go for our son's future. I fled Afghanistan alone, crying through the entire flight. I arrived safely, but my heart was broken. Weeks passed and my husband couldn't join us. The law had changed. Women were no longer allowed to travel without a male guardian. 3 months later, he was finally able to reunite with us. I still remember the joy when I saw him after 3 months. Life in Pakistan was unfortunately expensive and filled with uncertainty. Still, I'm sincerely grateful to the government and people of Pakistan for hosting such a large amount of people, unexpected guests, even if only for a short time. I lived there legally for almost 2.5 years, but despite numerous attempts on contacts, I was never given the opportunity to be interviewed or registered by the UN in Pakistan. Throughout my stay, the constant threat of deportation to Afghanistan hung over me. Being in exile in Pakistan, I never gave up and began volunteering with People Have, a Spain-based organization, assistant at risk Afghan families. I helped teach them how to apply for jobs and navigate new system. In early 2023, I volunteered with AICN and AM Alumni, organization based in France and Belgium, supporting fundraising efforts for displaced families. My efforts were recognized by Madre as well, a global recognized women's rights organization based in the US. During all this time, my husband worked hard for us. He applied for and was awarded by prestigious Chevening Scholarship and came to UK to study an MS Global Health at the University of Southampton. When he left, it was the first time I saw tears in his eyes. Our younger son was just 6 months old. He promised my older son he would bring us to join him. He applied for our visas himself, but an error but visa caseworker led to our application being rejected. He kept it hidden to avoid giving me any stress or anxiety. I remember pain in our son's voice when he asked, why aren't my prayers answered, Mom? I miss my dad. He once said, I feel like my heart went with him when he left. I held back my tears in front of him, but that day I couldn't. On New Year's Day 2024, my husband didn't celebrate. He worked alone in his dorm room, determined to correct the visa issue. After 10 months of separation and giving through an administrative review by a home office, our visa was finally approved. I still feel the joy to reunite. After arriving in the UK, I claimed asylum not by choice, but for the sake of a safe life for myself, my family, and to ensure the silence and suffocated voice of Afghan women can be heard and raised. Let me tell you that the pain of losing your home and identity is something only a refugee truly understands. As the says goes, first you are uprooted, then you are unwanted, then you become a refugee becomes refused. Living in exile, I have experienced many emotional highs and lows, often questioning my existence and sense of dignity. But there's another saying I hold into: when one door closes, another opens. I believe that deeply, although I had to leave everything behind, new doors have opened for me. Today, I'm deeply thankful to the UK government and the community here, particularly Century in Chichester, for recognizing my circumstances and the struggles I face, and for welcoming us with kindness. Your support has given me a second chance. As I live behind my community in Afghanistan, I have built a new one here in Chichester, just as close to my heart. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to Kate Viner, Alison Hard, Jude Colson, Hannah, James Field, Lewis, and Carrie, all those in the Century in Chichester and the Friday Women's Group, for always being there when I needed help and support. It has to be mentioned the unconditional support and love I got from my husband is what brought me here. So I really owe him a big thank you for supporting me, helping me. Although he's not here with me, but I'm here wearing a bracelet he made for me when he was here. I am slowly rebuilding my personal and professional life. I volunteer as a gallery assistant at the Pelham House Gallery and as an assistant artist in the Dare to Be Free project under the supervision of great artist, great Kate Viner. I would love to continue working as an artist, contributing and giving back to the community that helped me get back on my feet. My husband also volunteers with St. Richard Hospital and UK Harvest while working hard to return to dentistry. Grateful for the love, respect and support I have received from the UK and its community. I sincerely hope to continue my life here, where I can build a safe, peaceful future for myself and my family. Above all, I promise never to give up. I will keep creating, keep fighting, and keep dreaming of a better future, not just for myself, but for everyone, every woman whose voice has been silenced. My activism and speak of justice were resilience, and for the stories that too often go silent, unheard, not only in Afghanistan but everywhere women face injustice. Recently, my work was exhibition at the Paddington Library in London as a part of Refugee Week celebration, as behind me. Despite significant financial hardship, I was fortunate to receive genuine support from Kate Viner and Alison Hurd. I hope I'm pronouncing your names correct. I'm sorry if I'm not, for which I'm deeply grateful. I would like to sincerely thank the Century in Chichester and Gemma for organizing this beautiful event to celebrate Refugee Week in such an artistic and meaningful manner. Thank you all for being here and for giving me the chance to be heard. And I'm sorry for crying at some mistakes. Thank you so much.